Right. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to our highly anticipated webinar entitled Technology in Facilities Management, Small Shift, Big Impact for Sarawak Built Environment. On behalf of PCSS, and we are excited to have all of you today as we dive into today's webinar. My name is Angelina, and I will be your host for this afternoon session. Before we begin, let's go over for a few housekeeping details to ensure a smooth and engaging webinar experience for everyone. First and foremost, please be informed that this webinar will be recorded for future viewing and to distribute to those who are unable to attend today. Secondly, we would like to request that all participants to keep their microphones muted throughout the webinar. And this will help to minimize background noises and ensure everyone can hear our speaker clearly. Please feel free to drop your questions in the chat throughout the session. Later on during the Q&A session, we will do our best to address them. And thirdly, attendance will be shared through the QR code at the end of the session. So please stay until the end of the session. Now, before we begin, I would like to do a little bit of introduction of PCSS and as well as APTT for as the supporter for this webinar. So PCSS is a premier project management solutions provider focused on enhancing organizational profits through the implementation of industry-leading practices. We specialize in digital construction, covering in BIM, 4D simulations, optimization of tools such as drones, AR, VR, to name a few. This emphasizes our dedication to staying technologically advanced and providing innovative solutions for the digital transformation of the construction industry in the region. So for APTT, established since December 2020 by a group of Sarawak professional technologists from multidisciplinary fields of technologies industry in Sarawak, with initial aim to gather professional technologists and certified technicians from all over the state. So APTT worked together closely with MBOT to ensure sustainability and quality professional development that enable professionals to contribute to the Sarawak economy and development uh, or the country. The APTT takes pride to assist MBOT in recognizing industry professionals in the state of Sarawak. With that being said, I believe we're all set for an informative and engaging session. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with a great pleasure that I introduce our distinguished speakers for today. Please join me in welcoming Zul Azhan. Right, so he's opened his camera. Yeah, you can see his face right there. And let me introduce a little bit on Zul. So Zul Azhan is the CEO of Infinity Waves in Berhad and the company that created Box, an integrated facilities management platform for data-driven facilities and asset management. So he has 20 years of experience, a mix of engineering, consultancy, and facilities management. He holds a Bachelor Electrical Engineering from UTM and a Master of Philosophy from University of Malaya, where his research on digital adoption in facilities management has been published. He is a CIDB certified facility management manager and a certified member of UK Institute of Facilities and Workplace Management, and he has involved with major digital facility management for GLCs, MNCs, including projects at Pinewood Studios, University of Reading, Malaysia, TNB Platinum HQ, and Forest City. He regularly contributes to industry for facilities management uh, uh, He regularly contributes to industry and academic platforms as a speaker and collaborator, and recently a speaker for Facilities Management Asia Conference 2024 and Industry Advisory Panel for Uni KL. Right. With that being said, let me pass the session to our speaker today. Zul, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you, Angelina. Okay, maybe I can start to share my screen now.
Yes, sure. You can take over.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like everybody's respond if you can see my screen later and hear me. Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Angelina. And I would like to thank again the co-organizer, APTT Sarawak and PCSS, for organizing this. Like I said, it's a bit casual. We try to make it a casual webinar rather than very formal. So I will mix the conversation a bit of bahasa Melayu and also English. Okay. So along the way, this is not a training. So I hope I can touch a little bit of what we do and share to everyone the challenges, how relevant the topic is to state like Sarawak that is receiving massive investment currently, and what is the future trends looking like for Malaysia, especially. Okay, all right. I believe Angelina has done a very good job in introducing me. It's very lengthy. So my name is Zul Azhan Abu Bakar. I'm from Infinity Wave. That's my email at the bottom there. So for this webinar, actually my team already prepared a so-called white paper. I hope I can get some response from all the participants and email to me personally. Then I can reply back with the white paper that we prepared. This is will cover entirely 2025 projects that we have delivered for our client. And also, I put it there, my LinkedIn account, so that we can connect if we haven't yet connected to with each other. I have like more than 20 years experience. My journey to facility management basically is accidental. I started with R&D throughout my journey, product development. Sony, Hitachi, and Seagate is basically it's not in Malaysia, and then I came back a few years, I think 2012 around that, to eventually work in build environment. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, you can proceed.
Okay. Okay. All right. Our company, Infinity Wave, is a technology company for facility management, and we develop forms and we implement other technologies to help our clients basically to increase the efficiency of their operation and also occupant experiences. And until today, we have onboarded a little bit more than 3 billion ringgit of worth of assets to our system. And now we have registered more than 500 buildings. This is an amazing job by my team, basically our team. They have been working tirelessly to help our client become more successful to the digital transformation program that we work with our client. Okay. So today topic, today I'm going to touch a bit about what it's looking like for Sarawak for about 3 minutes, and then we go to the reality of facility management, the technology shift. Then we go touch a bit the current challenges that facility management is having, then what is actually the role that everyone can play in this new feature for FM. Okay, then I think at about 50 minutes, if the time permits, we can open up questions. I believe that some of the question is already been sent out currently. So I try my best to answer all these questions so say I can touch a bit based on my own experience, theoretically, and also the actual experience that we have, right? So we go straight into the main topic today. Okay. Uh, I personally, of course, I'm aware about the state of Sarawak punya development currently. So they receive a lot of investment coming in for private and public sector. Apart from Johor, I think Sarawak has the most currently investment coming in. And Johor just launched the Johor Singapore Special Economic Zone. So apart from that, I think we saw and are aware that Sarawak is receiving massive amount of investment, development, infrastructure, whether it's public and private. And those news come out to me, and then it attracted some of the discussion that relates to technology apparently. Okay, one of it is the Sarawak Logistics Chain. This is the, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, the land management system that will be fully rolled out entirely by 2030. Okay, why 2030? Based on our research, the Sarawak Sustainability Vision. That's the something that is being announced recently, dan sudah diumumkan oleh Premier Sarawak untuk achieve by 2030. So langkah-langkah untuk mencapai sustainability vision ini adalah melalui pendigitalan dan teknologi adoption. And one of the biggest news in September is the expect 3 billion ringgit expansion in Sarawak. And this correlate the move for Malaysia to position itself as global semiconductor hub. Kalau Johor ada multiple location of data center, Sarawak is going to play a different game already. Next is the Kuching Smart City Initiative. This is going to strengthen the digital innovation, says the Premier of Sarawak. And Sarawak aims to lead in sustainable facility management. Okay, we saw that the investment made throughout the project, whether it's public or private, di Sarawak, sangat massive in billions. So the challenge will not be coming from how you want to develop. The challenge will be this sustaining this asset. Why I say that, I will explain it in the later slide. So let's look at the reality and challenges of facility management. Because I'm involved with three, if I'm not mistaken, project that receive billions of ringgit of investment. So to develop a new infrastructure, to develop new city, that's basically the list of the issue and challenges. In this industry, especially in built environment, we need to realize that the size of the market is going to grow anyway because of the investment made by infrastructure growth, sustainability goals, and technology adoption. Currently, anggaran estimation is about 55 billion the market size in 2035. Then it will grow eventually by 75 billion in 2030. And Sarawak, based on the news that we saw just now, is going to be one of the emerging leaders in the sectors due to the project and investment. But the reality sets in where recently the Minister of Work ataupun KKR mentioned that Sarawak has only 70 registered contractors out of 460 contractors registered in this facility management industry. So there's a lot of market growth and development, and also the capacity that need to be achieved. If you receive billions of ringgit of investment, so how do the industry locally going to support those investment? Because what I learned for FM is very localized industry, in a sense that something that's being done in United States, Europe, Japan, Korea, Middle East, Southeast Asia is totally different. What works in KL might not be working in or workable in Kuching. So those are the very apparent and clear challenges that this industry is facing. But I'm not sure whether people in the industry is aware of that or not. So one of the things that very important thing that related to the investment is construction cost or investment capital is only the surface or the tip of the iceberg. Majority of the cost will lies below the ice, below the sea, hidden. And to make things more scary, for every 100 million ringgit spent to build a facility infrastructure, whether it's public or private, it can cost like 3 million to 5 million per year just to operate and maintain it. This is the thumb rule of managing the any facility. And over the 25 or 30 years lifespan, normally we can easily spend around the cost of capital of building that facility itself. So this is where the argument comes in. FM is not a cost center. It's actually a profit enabler to ensure that the organization can be successful. Reason is, okay, we understand that years ago, 10, 20, or 30 years ago, facility management was only doing maintenance. Now we can see that FM professional is being trained to optimize performance, manage risk, safety and health, ensure facility actively support the business goal of organization. And to sum this in a very simple word, FM is a strategic business enabler. Regardless of industry, whether you are in education, medical, retail, facility is important. And to ensure that the industry or your core business successful, FM needs to be more strategic, needs to be playing more strategic role in that. Okay, so let's relate all this into the technology shift that is being seen in other countries. FM is well known for manual laborious work that may be being done or delivered by a lot of people, a group of people, whether it's engineers, source services, and so on. But how do technology plays in this industry and services? And what does small shift and big impact means? So the topic is very relevant to Sarawak, for example, because we've seen for any state, any new development that receives massive investment, there's a lot of expectation. There's a lot of expectation to deliver high standard of services, to deliver the best services available. But how do technology plays this role to ensure that the successful of the services delivered? Okay, let's look at the schedule here, the horizontal part and the vertical part of technology. You can see here the actors or the implementer of the technology. In build environment, the owner, client, architect, engineer, facility management, the technology cluster, the category of technology, and the top side of the schedule, you can see the journey of the build environment of any infrastructure and building from concept until operation and maintenance. One of the key important technology that you can see here is simulation and modeling, where BIM plays an important role. And to relate to that, the government already mandated that since starting from 1st of July, any project that value 10 million or above needs to be built with BIM. So this is another good move for the industry because technology should be seen as part of the services, not add-on tools or add-on value that comes with the services. Okay, so there are other technologies that is also starting from concept until operation and maintenance. You can see here the digitalization and virtualization where AR, VR, cloud, IoT, and blockchain is going to play an important role in the future or current. Okay, when we talk about technology, there's a lot of discussion and there's a lot of argument whether what technology should be there when we started the FM services, what technology should be later on added, and then how the technology can play a role in the facility management services. So before we go deeply into the shift or transformation that we wanted to do for facility management, let's take a look at least three tech advancement that currently exist or being implemented elsewhere.
The world's smallest wireless sensors from disruptive technologies, smart buildings and facilities management are closer than ever. Our sensor solution provides useful data that can be customized to the needs of your building, without the need to rip and replace any legacy systems. The world's smallest wireless sensors.
So this is the smallest sensor available in the world currently, and it's wireless, and the battery itself can last like 5 to 10 years without any recharge needed. And next one will be beam. Okay, so everybody already seen the three major technology. The first one will be the IoT, wireless technology, to collect all the critical data. The second one will be beam, and the third one is currently displayed here is AI or vision system or vision technology. But when I talk about technology, there's a lot of amazing technology out there that can solve a lot of complex issue. In Malaysia, in particular, the paradox is, and the question is still the same: proven technology, but slow adoption. So this is something that I personally been asked whenever we involve with new project. The project leader normally this is one of the scariest thing that can cause nightmare to project manager that involved with digital transformation. Proven technology, slow adoption. Okay, let's look at the four major reasons why this happened. One of the challenges or barrier that we have currently in Malaysia is the lack of skilled personnel. So for state that receive massive amount of investment like Sarawak, Johor currently, Johor is going through like massive because a lot of data center being built. So how do we complement the massive investment with all this technology advancement without a skilled personnel? The key here is training, competency, and also tech literate professional. There's a lot of incident or project that we encounter. This actually impact both hierarchy of organization, whether it's top management that is not tech literate or the operational and tactical level that is not literate. So the impact is different, but it can be a big barrier for technology adoption, whether it's coming from the leadership itself. That means they don't understand the technology, they don't want to change, they seem that the technology is not going to give them the right amount of ROI, or maybe on the operational and the technical level, will see technology as something that slow them down, will not add value for their day-to-day job. So those are the things that will become big barrier in technology adoption. In this case, the shortage and trained staff for tech literate professional is totally different skill needed for FM. You can see FM, majority of the training, majority of the people that came into the industry is not really equipped with the competition needed for technology adoption. So most of them knows about HVAC, knows about the financial management, safety, and so on. But less and less of them knows about how to actually adopt a new technology that can impact the efficiency of the process and so on. Okay. Number two is the inefficiency and work culture. We have done this like this for the past 20 years. So why change? So resistance to change, traditional work culture is quite normal for any industry, right? And those that really hesitate to adopt new tools or they don't receive the right amount of support from leadership will see this as a big barrier for them to change. So you don't get the support needed, and of course, there's no motivation to do the changes needed. And you got resistance from operational and technical level. Why you need to change? This already been done like this before. Why you need to reinvent the wheel? So to counter that, normally I will ask them, this is not about the reinventing the wheel. Actually, we just want to make the wheel become faster, become more efficient with the right sensor, with the right maybe bearing to smoothen the wheels and so on. So the resistance to change comes in many forms. Okay, the third one will be the financial constraint. Everybody knows that adopting it or purchasing technology is high initial investment. So the investment needed is not only for acquisition and purchase, but for maintaining the system, staff training, change management, and so on. And to make things worse, your procurement processes is not really equipped to purchase technology because technology purchase is it's a bit tricky, it's a bit complex. Sometimes it's not really traditional. So a lot of company having a lot of issues purchasing technology. So those things that related to financial constraint, not only money, but the processes of procurement itself. And the last one will be the data management issue. A lot of company that wanted to do digital transformation or adopt any technology has poor data governance. And the impact to this eventually will make the technology jadi gajah putih, white elephant, it's abandoned because people don't see the value of the technology itself. Why? Lack of adoption. And most of it is because they don't have a proper data management. They don't have asset management, data management governance, policies, processes, who validate the data, who owns the data. And the concern over data accuracy can reduce the trust in digital system. So people will abandon the system because they think that this is not really valid. The system is not valid. When the issue is actually more skin deep data, is related to data. Okay, for us, I will share a bit about this framework. Small shift, big impact. Those company, organization, or state like Sarawak, right? They receive massive investment currently, and the change is not really something that will grow gradually. People will expect. I mean, when you invest like 3 billion ringgit, you will expect the outcome of your investment will be fast, right? Fast, and will be massive, and will be great. But how to prepare yourself for that? Normally, I will advise a lot of the client that we work with, try to figure out how the shift can be small, how the shift can deliver big impact, how the shift can actually become long lasting, rather than you try to make big changes, follow the trend because you fear of missing out, but short period of time. Jadi white elephant, gajah putih. Or even worse, you spend like millions of ringgit but got nothing. And investment fail or people regret working with you. These are the things that normally I advise our client or company organization that we work with. We need to assess ourselves. We need to have some kind of a self-reflection. Yeah. Kita kena measure the state of our FM maturity level. We need to understand where we are. And then we can understand further what needs to be done. The resources is not unlimited, mostly for company, especially for FM. The resources is limited. So you need to play the game properly lah. Kena pilih, kena choose the right battle. If you have this issue, which one I want to tackle first? Which one is the resources going to be effective in impact and long lasting. And then you can see you want to adopt which framework, FM framework, which standard. Technology adoption framework must come hand in hand concurrently with FM framework. And then baseline data must be there to be the fundamental of all the change management. And then Kaizen, continuous improvement. It's all a big loop. Okay. I explain a little bit more. FM maturity assessment, basically we tell you your capabilities, where you have gaps, the processes, performance level. Yeah. This assessment have many ways of delivering this assessment untuk cari gap analysis, and then you can understand it's more structured. Then you can understand your strength. Okay, which one is my strength? Which one is my weaknesses? And then we can go to the adoption of certain framework. One of the key reminder that I will tell my client is FM framework, the change management must come hand in hand concurrently with technology adoption framework. Why? If you want to make changes, I don't understand why you need to make changes without technology. If you want to focus on adopting the FM framework, but without technology, you will also adopting the inefficiency and you will digitalize the inefficiency together. Because why? The technology adoption framework comes later. That means you digitalize whatever that is not efficient. So I always advise that, okay, organization need to allocate your resources effectively, but make sure that the change management hand in hand, FM framework and technology adoption. It's quite straightforward. And then framework you can choose whether it's ISO. I mean, I listed here ISO 41,000 and also 55,000 asset management and FM. Then go straight to the continuous improvement. Why? Because FM is continuously evolving. Sometimes the first level of maturity assessment will tell you, okay, you need to focus on this A. And then A is done, you achieve the KPI, you go back to the FM maturity assessment, you need to take a B. And then the cycle continuously improving every time you do the assessment. While we talk about that, I want to specifically focus on the fundamental issue in FM, especially if you want to make a shift in technology. Technology means nothing if you don't have a proper clean data, a high quality data. If you have like poor data, if you don't have a clean data, if you have very poorly structured data, technology means nothing. Because technology is going to propagate whatever that you have actually. Technology basically is going to be better if you have a good fundamental baseline data. A continuation of construction data into asset management is very, very critical. That's why I've been involved with more than 10 projects from construction to new build. So data from construction normally, whether it's as the drawing, as a register, warranty, test report, often get lost, incomplete or handover in a very poor format, which is not usable in any technology. Subsequent technology lah, like basically CMMS. Kalau CMMS, data pun tak boleh upload from the handover punya document, I think that's very bad lah. And then FMT need to start from scratch, do the asset audit and finding whatever missing. And this is why I think it's a good move for the government to mandate bill for 10 million ringgit project. This is the reason. Because in Malaysia, we have like not one but two standard of data for handover. JKI Malaysia, pengurusan data aset tak ada ni, dah diperkenalkan beberapa tahun lepas lah. Initiative by our government, Perdata. Nama pendek dia. Perdata is Malaysia Localized Standard for Public Project. Dalam Perdata tu adalah asset hierarchy punya nama untuk premise dan juga asset. Kemudian the international known for data format is COBI, Construction Operation Building Information Exchange. So I was like discussing with one of the recent BIM manager lah. He said he's not aware about COBI. So this is something that I think shouldn't be happening lah in the industry, right? Because if you want to go into BIM, it shouldn't be like becoming BIM modeler only. We need to become an expert, a subject matter expert into that specific tools or technology. You need to understand BIM is not only for design. It should be right across the entire life cycle of construction phase. And then you can hand over LOD 500 to facility management for manage their operation. If not, then what's the point of having a 3D design only, right? Okay. Talking about that, there are other current trending topic that being discussed globally. So while the small shift is not really related to this topic, it's good to know that people are now talking about AI optimized facility management, connected FM technology. Maksudnya, no more technology scattered in silo, not talking to each other. Not talking to each other maksudnya sistem A mesti boleh guna data sistem B and so on. So interconnected system in FM basically is about data. What data that you send from system A to system B and so on. And some of the vendor technology that came to me said that they don't want to give open API atau data kepada that system because of some reason. So not sure. Is this going to be like something that we want to discuss in future for Malaysia industry and so on? Data insight and economy, again, data is important. Human-centered workplace, the simplification of ESG, this is one of the key trending right now, sustainability. Cost saving, of course, it's very competitive to be in FM. And the last one will be the talent issue that we have. The next generation workforce, basically the youngest generation in the market currently, Gen Z, and next one will be the Gen Alpha. So how do we attract those talent if we have like poor wage structure? People, companies still offering like 2,500, 2,008 for fresh graduate. And then the work environment is very toxic, not really positive. There's no career development and so on. So this is the issue. And I've read a recent paper in Europe. So the case study is in Europe. The FM industry is an aging industry actually. It lacks the what kata, attractiveness to attract the younger generation to be involved or to work in this industry. So the small shift that we are talking about for Sarawak, for example, might not be talking about this trending topic, but it's good to know because you have already know the structure and framework to make the small shift into technology. Now get ready to also talk about the current trending for future. And now is the right time to do this. And for us, it's easy. People drive technology and should always be at the center of innovation. There's a lot of people yang takut kan untuk implement teknologi, yang takut untuk memulakan step-step kecil untuk start implement a specific technology. So I know the problem will also persist for Sarawak. Am I going to lose? Adakah saya akan hilang pekerjaan disebabkan tidak guna teknologi? Yes. I always answer yes. You will lose the opportunity to get retain your job if you don't use technology. What? You will be replaced with somebody that use technology. That's the answer. So the question is not technology replacing you. You will replace by akan digantikan oleh orang yang menggunakan lebih banyak teknologi lah. Because people drive technology should be the center. People or humans should be always be the center of innovation, regardless if you introduce AI and so on. Okay, one of the key development in Malaysia, starting from 1st July, I mentioned this many times during the session, is the mandate for any project valued at 10 million ringgit and above in Malaysia, starting from 1st of July, to apply BIM. Why? I think this is going to shift further into digitalization. You got everything digitalized, even the data. So I'm not sure how the framework will be because I have yet to be involved with any project that's being mandated. But I know the key point that mentioned in the perkeliling is the data handover must be in a specific format, which is equivalent to per data. Just now I show you what per data is all about. You can make a little bit of effort to research, and then this is going to shift the mindset of handover, especially for FM. The tip of the iceberg for any built environment project is only always the construction, but the burden is always at the operational level of any facility. So if we get the right start with the right data, it's going to be a total ball game altogether untuk FM. Okay, so I think I spent like almost 30 minutes already. If you're part of building the feature, especially in this case, Sarawak, they are receiving massive amount of investment, billions of ringgit currently. And I've been involved with three billion ringgit project. And the key of making or break or the make or break any project is taking the small significant step to make sure that the impact will be bigger and also long lasting rather than to make a massive change but not long lasting, short term, and end up jadi gajah putih. Okay, I think this is all from me today. I hope that I touched all the relevant critical information. I hope that I've shared enough for this webinar. And thank you very much again for APTT, Sarawak, PCSS, and also one of the partner here, Reliant Design Solution. You're also one of the player in BIM design. Okay, I think we are going to the Q&A session, right, Angelina? I hand over to you.
Yes.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have been treated to an insightful presentation by Zul on the captivating topic of technologies in facilities management, small shifts, big impact for Sarawak's built environment. And as we reflect on possibilities unveiled during the presentation, let's move on to the Q&A session. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop your question in the Q&A box in the webinar interface and to type them in. So currently in the chat, we actually received one question from Alex, and he was asking about what is covered in the facilities management framework.
Okay, thank you, Alex, for the question. I just want to touch a bit before I go into the direct answer. We need to understand that FM is a management level of skill. You said that facilities management. But there's a lot of the company or organizations start at the operational and technical, where they focus a lot on repairing stuff, preventive maintenance, proactive maintenance, managing work order, and so on. So this kind of organization need to ask themselves, what is actually the part that they manage? So to answer the question, what is covered in the FM framework, it's very broad. It's not only maintenance. Maintenance is part of the FM framework. Then you can go into say the framework that they eventually endorse, that they train people to know. I think we have like 7 to 9 framework, which includes safety management, finance, budgeting, maintenance is part of it, engineering, technology. So those are the area that is should be covered by FM framework. Okay, I can share details later. You can share me your email so that I can share some of the articles that been discussed for a comprehensive FM framework. And then there's a lot of company that wanted to standardize their processes and operation. The framework that's suitable for FM will be the FM 41,000. Okay, Alex.
Right. Thanks once again to Alex. And while waiting uh, for the participants to send up the questions, I have a question. So, firstly, um, y- you mentioned that it can cost more to run a building than to build it. Can you share some of simple methods building owners can cut those ongoing costs without spending a lot upfront?
This is about cost management, right? Okay, we talk about if the investment capital is made around 100 million, the cost to run the operation for FM normally is 3 to 5 million per annum. So that will cover, of course, maintenance. That will cover the headcount needed, source services, the overall management of the facility. To manage the cost upfront will be to manage the data. I always emphasize on data. Why data is important for you to know what is the thing that you are managing, the assets number, the area that you cover, the people needed, and then the cost associated for the management of the facility. So what can be, I mean, normally the people that manage internally will have big concern for cost. If you issue the contract, it's a bit difficult for the contractors to make the cost reduction because they are bound by the contract itself. So most of the internal FM organization, they will look at how they can actually prolong the maintenance rather than do a scheduled maintenance. They want to see the equipments like aircon to be maintained by condition, for example, rather than do a specific scheduling on the basis. But in order to do that, you need to have proper data to guide it. How do you know that this aircon is going to be needed to be maintained dalam 3 bulan? So what's the data that support your decision to maintain it in 3 months rather than schedule? A very traditional way doing it is monthly basis. And then once you have that question, you need to understand, okay, I can predict this because I know the airflow of the aircon. So I know once the airflow is reducing in maybe the next 3 months, I need to check the filter function and so on. So those are the things that normally can be done. But if you have a good fundamental data, then you can do that. Why? Because if you don't get the opportunity to measure anything, you don't have data, you don't have a good basis to make decisions, right? To make cost saving. This is where the trap comes in. The trap is people just cut whatever that needed. Okay, maybe I can reduce the manpower. From 10 cleaner, I just use 3 cleaner. And then you push the cleaner to like work 18 hours a day without rest and so on. So there's no strategy data to support for that. Why? Because I just want to save costs. What's the data to support that decision? So this is one of the main big issues that I've seen. Decision made without any factual data to support that. So they just by gut, I cut 3 engineers because one engineer can just maintain 1 million square feet of facility. So before we go into cost cutting or cost saving, you need to ensure that you have a perfectly good data to support. Okay, to whoever asking this, Angelina.
All right. So there's still no question in the chat box, but I have another question. What are the right steps for facilities management companies need to do to keep their facility management data clean and accurate?
Okay, before I answer that, if I answer incorrectly or you have like something to just challenge my answer, please do. This is a very open session so that I can also learn something from the rest of the attendees today. Okay, I might not be 100% correct. There might be other easier way or accurate ways to attend to the questions. Okay, let's engage. I want to know also how you do it. Okay, Angelina, the question is about data, right? The quality of data, is that right? Betul tak?
Yes, it's about how to maintain the FM data clean and accurate.
We need to follow the government instruction. Kita kena follow government instruction untuk implement BIM the beginning during construction. So that the handover will be digitalized and then data is fully following the format that the government endorse. That's one for new project. But for legacy building that don't have anything, you need to start a task force special project untuk buat asset audit, and then you need to have a very structured way and format to record your data. There's a lot of system out there, even for our system, we have a very structural way to record the data that you have for operation and maintenance and also asset. So it's easy nowadays. You don't need to like maintain the data in the Excel, and then you can retain it in a system, and the system can actually auto format it for you. But there must be a specific effort to do that. Currently, everything is ad hoc for data management in FM. Whenever audit comes in, then people start to kencong to buat audit dan cari kat mana dokumen kan. And then there's a lot of dokumen yang lying around dalam file yang tak pernah sesiapa baca, just for the sake of having ISO lah. Then everything is very thick. Bila tanya tak ada, nobody knows what the document is all about or the data is all about. So data must be embedded, data management mesti embedded dalam culture FM. The problem is always because majority of the people in FM that I know, they are engineering background. So they like to solve problems. So kalau tak ada problem tu, they lose sleep. They need to make sure that the aircon rosak lah supaya they can fix it. So I'm sorry because I'm an engineer also. So managing data ni needs a different set of skill and competency. So you need to be trained properly. And in Singapore currently, we can see dah ada jawatan FM analyst lah yang manage all the data. So FM analyst ni, I'm not sure ada tak company besar dah start to recruit them. And FM analyst ni yang one of the job scope tu, responsibility tu menguruskan data. But you need to ask your organisation, yang siapa yang tanya ni, siapa yang authorized untuk jaga the data for your FM? Ada tak? Atau you just throw it to like admin ke siapa lah buat? So it needs to be embedded lah properly. Macam mana you assign somebody to clean the toilet, you need to assign properly lah the person to jaga data you. Tak boleh lah cakap macam somebody, and so siapa yang actually authorized? So the process must be embedded, just like you clean the toilet, you manage the aircon and so on.
Okay. Zul, additionally, we have another question from Alex.
Alex?
Yeah, he actually has two. So the
Yes,
first
yes.
question, okay, how deep has Malaysia company adopted to the high-tech facility management tools that you mentioned in the slides, as example, IoT, AI, etc.?
You're here, right, Alex? you should like open your camera and microphone and just ask me directly, then we can talk. So the
Yes, from
question,
here.
hi Alex, how are you?
Yeah, hi.
Are you in Sarawak or
I'm in
Semenanjung?
Sarawak. Previously,
Oh,
I
okay.
managed the facilities for manufacturing industries. I just
I
want to
see.
understand the terrain of the general facility management industry.
I see. Okay, your question is very good. Thank you very much for the question. How deep has Malaysia adapted to high tech? Okay, this is related to my research paper. Actually, I've interviewed and surveyed around 1,000 plus facility managers, regardless of industry. Some of them manage plant, manage commercial building, retail, hospital, and so on. So I've got a rough estimation. How is the, we call it adoption level of technology in Malaysia? It's very not convincing, I can say. Not convincing is still early stage. We are at the early tail of adoption actually. That means it's not even matured yet. It hasn't seen the peak yet. Based on my analysis, it's still like, I think it's the earliest, I think it's still at the early stage. Yeah. I can share with you the details. Why? The reason is already being explained in the webinar. Ada empat sebab tu. So one of the reason is the skill people. Skill does not mean that you are not skilled to implement the technology. Skill is very broad. That means you need to have support, right? Motivation is coming from the leadership, your top management. How literate are they in technology? Can they support you? And then can they take the risk for you? That means how you are managing the money invested into IoT to turn it into tangible return of investment. How the conversation been done? Some of the engineers that I met, they don't have the buy-in for the top management. It's either they have like top management have like previous history yang apa gajah putih, so they don't want to like have any technology anymore, or they just don't want to take any risk to to get buy-in from the higher position board of director and so on. So adoption rate in Malaysia, based on my 1,000 plus survey, is still at early stage. We haven't really reached the peak of adoption yet. If you talk specifically here, you mentioned AI, IoT, right? AI is still early stage for FM. I think AI mostly they use LLM, ChatGPT, and to us, okay, client ask this, what should I reply in email? I think that's about it. I haven't seen a very impactful AI implementation for FM yet. For now. IoT is quite common. IoT is quite common, especially if you have building management system. That's basically connected sensors to a centralized controller. IoT is quite common, but also BMA is not really developed properly. Most of the project that I've been involved with, there's a lot of issue in control, in reliability, and so on. So this is another set of challenges and barriers that most facility owner has about BMS. So, but that's another discussion to have. Okay, your next question is how is BIM model utilized in FM to view the internal piping trunking or more than that? Okay, good. BIM basically to visual, to uh, design the facility to see where, what, and how it's being installed. Okay, visual is important for construction. There's a lot of reason visual is important. One of it is to make sure that there's no error. Because construction once it's gone, it's gone. So the problem akan ditanggung oleh operation. So once BIM is implemented dekat dalam FM ni, you get a good set of data actually to operate your building. You get a good set of data that is 3D, visual, and also S-build. The problem with FM, okay, for example, you want to do repair, you don't know where the valve located, right? So with BIM, is safe. Safe, it's going to cut costs, and you take out the guessing work for FM. FM is having a lot of issue already, but when the issue is hidden somewhere in a concrete slab, so without BIM, I think it's going to be like we go back to the dark ages again. So with BIM, everything is going to be better. So people might be underestimating the visual power of BIM, especially some of the people in FM. They don't know because there's a lot of guessing work in FM. You don't know this pipe, right? Okay, where it goes. Then they start to hack here and there. Then they start to make guessing work, and then everything become haywire already, and the entire building collapse or shut down because piping burst. So this is going to manage all this future work after construction, and there's a lot. There's a lot of work involving hidden things that is concealed somewhere. So once you are handled with a good set and high quality of data in Bing, that will take all the risks out. You reduce cost for repair, you reduce cost for refurbishment, renovation, and so on. There's a lot of benefit in doing this. Okay, you said that, yes, hard time, yes. One of the problem lah for FM actually, you cannot really trace back, right? There's no traceability kat mana pipe ni pergi kan. Tiba-tiba pipe ni hilang somewhere pergi kat mana, Miri ke Bintulu kan. But the plant is in Kuching. Right, Alex, thank you very much for your question. So Angelina, we got other questions?
For now, no more question. Okay. So, right, let's move on to the next agenda. Thank you very much to those who participated in Q&A session.
Thank you very much for the question.
Right. In wrapping up this session, we've been treated to a session that was both informative and inspiring. A special thank you goes to our guest speaker for sharing his invaluable insights. Do you have any last words?
From me, Angelina?
Yes.
Okay, I'd just like to say thanks lah to everybody and terima kasih banyak-banyak sebab spend the time with me here 1 hour on Friday. And also thank you very much to Mr. Andy, the director of PCSS, APTT of course, for organizing this session. Hope to come back lah to talk more about this, right? Because it's something really interesting and we can engage more people.
Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
thank you very much.
Right. Thank you. So here you go. So this is your certificate. Right. I will, of course, will email it after this session. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude today's webinar, let's capture this special moment with a virtual group photo. And with that, please open your camera. Okay, I have 4 slides on my side over here. Okay, let me screenshot 1, 2, 3. Okay, I have second slide. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, third slide. 1, 2, 3. And lastly, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Okay, before we depart, we do like to share some of our services. So if any of you are interested for a demo on our services or interested to participate on our trainings, kindly contact us at the following contact shown at the bottom. So currently we have Primavera P6, we have Synchro for the courses. We also have BIM courses. So you can reach us out through the email or the contact number available on the screen. And to ensure that we accurately track your attendance and provide you with the e-certificates, we kindly request your participation to scan and fill in the attendance form from the available screen right now. So, and lastly, a big thank you to our wonderful audience for joining us. Your participation and engagement have made this webinar a success. We hope you leave today with a deeper understanding on facilities management, and we look forward to hear more about facilities management in the future. And once again, thank you all for being a part of this session. We look forward to seeing you in the future webinars. Stay safe. See you soon.